And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the Boston Red Sox episode. So yes, we will be talking about the Boston Red Sox Mount Rushmore. So, and there's only 4 of us here today. Wade has missed again this week. Hopefully we'll get him back next week. He knew that Boston, their Mount Rushmore was so straightforward, he didn't need to show up for it. So we'll just get this knocked out for you, Wade. I don't think I have any more housekeeping, so let's get started. Drew, who is your number 4 Red Sox Mount Rushmore?
Pedro Martinez.
He's also mine.
He would be like my number 5.
All right, so how many had him? 2? 3?
2.
Do we have Wade's list?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Well, in Boston, he was only there for 7 years, but that was his longest tenure. He won 2 Cy Youngs, finished second in MVP voting. His time in Boston, he had an ERA of 2.52. He had 117 wins, 37 losses, so a 76 win percentage. Trying to find.
You missed one big thing, Drew.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. What am I missing? You can go ahead and say it.
He broke the curse.
Oh yeah, he did. He broke the world's. He was one of the people on the.
He's the ace for the team that broke the curse.
I'm sure that was a big deal to the Red Sox fans.
Oh yeah.
Well, not just that, but I think the most. I mean, obviously winning the World Series, but that wasn't like what you guys did in the ALCS, down 3-0. Not just down 3-0, down 3-0 to the Yankees.
Well, yeah, as I was saying,
and then beating them.
That's what made that so much more sweet than anything. It wasn't just that we came back 3-0. We came back 3-0 against the Yankees, and we went through the Yankees to break the curse and win our World Series. The World Series, actually, like the actual games of the World Series against the Cardinals, were actually kind of like a letdown after the Yankee series.
Yeah.
You know? But
did they sweep the Cardinals?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a terrible series. Cardinals couldn't hit anything.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Pedro do some juice in there for a while, too?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Pedro was a wee little man.
But yeah, no, not just doing that, but that kind of slowed down the Yankees. I mean, you thought, Yankees were going to sweep or at least beat the Red Sox, go to another World Series, you know what I'm saying? No, after that, they didn't get back till, 2010? And they haven't been back since? So, I mean, in a way, the Red Sox have kind of flipped the table. They've won 3 World Series since then, to the Yankees won. I mean, haven't you won 3 since, or 4?
Well, that one and 3 more.
Yeah. So, I mean, they've won, since then, they've won 4 to the Yankees 1. So, I mean, in a way, the Red Sox have kind of flipped that, in a sense, I guess.
Yeah. Well, since 2004, since we broke the curse, we've won more World Series than any other franchise. But it took, we went 86 years without winning any before that. Yeah. So, I mean, the last one we won before that, Babe Ruth played for us. So, I mean,
that's,
okay.
That's letting everybody know.
Yeah, I feel you there. Go Pacers.
But yeah, with the Red Sox, he won 4 ERA titles. He led the league of strikeouts 3 times. Won 2 Cy Youngs. So, yeah, he was a beast. And I think I pointed this out in the Right-Handers episode in our last baseball turnaround. He did all of this pitching against a bunch of juiced up monsters. He was the best pitcher in baseball for a number of years, and shutting down guys that were juicing and cheating and hitting a ridiculous amount of home runs and hitting for high averages and all sorts of things. So I think it just makes it that much more impressive.
Did he have a nickname?
Did he?
I mean, there's one on here, but I've never heard of this one.
What is it?
It's Pedro El Grande.
No, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I never heard that.
The one thing I ever heard them call him was Petey.
Yeah.
That's on here too.
Petey.
Pedro El Grande.
All right. Well, Uncle Doug, do you have a 4 left?
I do.
Who do you have?
My number 4 is Wade Boggs.
Oh, Wade
Wade
Boggs.
Boggs. That's a good pick.
My brother is named after this person.
Yeah, that's right.
Not one of mine. So just one for the Boggs?
I'll say Wade had 5 batting titles, 2 Gold Gloves, 8 Silver Sluggers, obviously in the Hall of Fame, 12 All-Stars, 3,000 hits, 118 home runs, and a batting average of 328. So at the time, I mean, he was just Mr. Consistent. He was going to have his hits. His batting average was up there. I mean, he just...
Well, I think something that is misconstrued about Boggs when people look at him or try to remember him is people think of like, he's a slap hitter. Like he just hit a bunch of singles, and in today's game, singles are viewed kind of poorly. That wasn't necessarily the case. He led the league in doubles multiple times.
Yeah.
He wasn't a big home run hitter.
No. He only had 118 of those, but...
Yeah, but he did hit quite a few doubles every year, usually around, between 30 and 40, sometimes more. He hit 51 one year, which is a nice amount of doubles in a season.
Yeah. And it's not like he was blazing fast.
No, he was not.
Getting good hits to get doubles.
Yeah. And he did not strike out.
Nope.
Like we were talking about earlier, putting the ball in play. He was a leadoff hitter, so like he wasn't necessarily trying to drive in runs or.
Some of these years in his prime, he only struck out 32, 34,
Right.
32, 29. There's guys that do that in a month.
Yeah, and
Right.
you're talking about seasons where he had 700 bats.
Right.
I mean, I was picking some from his prime years. I'm not talking about this last year in the league when he hit 23 or his first 1 year 21. I'm talking about like his close to some of his MVP years, like close to MVP years.
Right.
Like, I mean, he's leading the league in doubles, but he's only striking out 34 times.
Yeah.
What guy could say that
Right.
nowadays?
He also walked a lot, which is an all-base percentage thing, which in today's game, everybody loves all-base percentage.
Right.
Yeah, so
he set the table. He was there for the guys to drive in.
unfortunately, there wasn't very many of those guys during his career in Boston.
Right. They weren't. He was doing his job. They weren't necessarily following up behind him.
Yeah. All right, well, anybody else have anything on Boggs before we move on?
No.
By the way, he also has one of the coolest records ever. Let's be 100% honest here. Anybody?
I feel like I should know, but I don't know.
I can't remember the numbers, but like it's the most beers drank on a flight. He drank so many Miller Lights on a flight and like people try to break it all the time, and like it gets ugly.
Yeah.
What's the number?
I can't remember. Watch the. There's an episode of Always Sunny about it.
Oh.
Where they all get on a plane and try to break Wade Boggs' record. But the best part about it is Boggs did it and then like went 3 for 4 after he got off the plane.
The next day, he batted. Yeah, good.
So, yeah. The only thing I would say with Boggs, Uncle Doug, is that he left Boston and went to the Yankees.
Yeah. That's his one World Series, right?
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he went to the Devil Rays
Yeah.
for 2 years.
That's true. He did do that,
Yeah,
too.
that kind of hurt him with Red Sox fans.
It did.
That happens more than what you think.
Boggs
Red Sox going to Yankees.
Boggs did it. Damon did it. Ellsbury did it.
I mean, technically Babe Ruth did it, but
Well, we traded him, though.
yeah. But I don't know. You hear that more often than not. You would think going to your rival.
The Yankees, when we traded Babe Ruth, though, the Yankees weren't necessarily our rival.
No, yeah, not then.
Because we were winning World Series and they weren't.
And then it got flipped for
86 years.
Yeah. Now it's back the other way. So don't trade any future Hall of Famers to the Yankees.
Yeah, we
So
just traded him to the Dodgers.
It's all right. They don't win World Series. That's what we're talking about.
Ray, do you have a number 4 left?
I do.
Who do you have?
Carlton Fisk.
Oh, the original Pudge.
Yeah. Let's see if I can rattle off some stats here. He was Rookie of the Year. He's in the Hall of Fame. 11-time All-Star. He got a Gold Glove. 3-time Silver Slugger. Career batting we'll just go career batting average. 269 home runs, 376, 2,356 hits with 8,756 at bats.
I mean, the Red Sox definitely got like the better portion of his career. He was more in his prime. A lot of his bosses stay before he went to the White Sox. Like his career batting average is 30 points higher in Boston than it is in Chicago. But he was still a hell of a ball player for the White Sox for a long time too. And he played, 24 years in the league
as a catcher.
As a catcher, yeah.
That's rough.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I don't understand how these catchers do this. I can imagine squatting all these years on my knees.
Dude, I'm telling
Like,
you.
even now, my knees, if I squatted for a whole 9 innings, it would hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how they do it for, 20 years.
Well, not even that. Like, you'll have maybe your 5th guy in the rotation, and he's having a bad day. You'll have maybe a 20 pitch inning, and you're down on your fucking squat position for 15 minutes.
It's 100 degrees at 1 o'clock in the
And
afternoon.
you're picking up all those wild pitches and loose balls and getting your fingers
Or
smashed,
foul balls that hit you.
fouling off the cup. And
Here's a cool stat for you. In 1972, Carlton Fisk led the Major League Baseball in triples.
Out there banging.
Fisk?
Yeah, with 9.
Oh, jeez.
The only other thing he ever led the league in was in 1980, he led the league in hit by pitch.
Oh. I always remember him going down the first base line, waving.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the iconic thing with him waving.
Oh,
the
yeah.
ball to stay fair.
Yeah, that's a very iconic baseball moment that he has played a lot.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about
That's like Game 6 of... what year was
I
that?
don't remember. I remember watching it, but it's been a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
75. Game 6 of the 75 ALCS.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I forgot to put him on the list.
All right. Well, anybody else have anything to add on Fisk before we move on?
Wow, I heard this was going to be straightforward. I already see 3 people at 4.
Yeah. It'll pick up here.
Okay.
Well, that's everybody's 4, correct?
Yep.
All right. Well, I haven't talked, so I'll give my 3. My 3 is Yaz.
Yep, he's my 3.
My 3 is Big Poppy.
Oh, well, he's my 2.
Oh, okay.
He's my 2.
So,
But let's talk about Yaz first.
Yeah, Yaz is my 2. But
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, sorry.
You made it sound like you didn't have him. I was
Yeah.
No. He's
Yeah.
my 2.
I thought, oh, boy.
Yeah, I that's what I took it to. I was like, just put YAZ because spelling his name was a disaster.
That's why we call him Yaz.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's got an MVP and a Triple Crown. He's an 18-time All-Star, 7-time Gold Glove. He's got 3 batting titles, Major League Player of the Year. He played 23 years in Boston. Led the league in runs 3 times, and hits twice, and doubles 3 times, homers once, RBIs once, and walks twice. Led the league in batting average 3 times, on base percentage 5 times, slugging percentage 3 times. He was a great player for quite some time. He has over 3,000 hits. He only has 452 home runs, so he didn't get to the 503,000 club. Not to say that 450 home runs is a bad thing.
No.
Yeah.
A lot of people nowadays would take that. Said we have 450 strikeouts in 2 years, but that's all right.
And he didn't just sneak over the 3,000 hit mark. He has 3,400 hits.
Yeah, some people just barely pass the threshold. No.
He's way over.
Yeah, he's over it.
Yep. And like I mentioned earlier, he did win the Triple Crown in 1967. He batted .326 with 44 home runs and 121 RBIs. In 1968, he won the batting title with a batting average of .301. That is the year they decided to lower the mound.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think I told that story. We were talking about Gibson one year.
Yeah. The Bob Gibson year, yeah.
Because Gibson and a couple other guys had these ridiculous pitching seasons, and Yaz was the only player in baseball to hit 300. And they're like, hey, this has become too lopsided. We have to lower the mound. So, yes. Just an interesting tidbit. And the following year, in 1969, wow.
In the summer of
He has had the worst year of his career. And then he went back up and hit 329.
Yeah.
What did he hit that year?
255.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, jeez.
So, yep. No, Yaz is a long-time Red Sox and viewed very positively throughout Red Sox Nation. He has a career .369 batting average in the playoffs. Went to two World Series, but did not win either. This was during the curse years.
Who did they play?
They played the Cardinals once and the Reds once.
Yeah.
Oh, so, yeah. Kind of in those teams was it the Cardinals in what, like late 60s?
67.
Yeah, that's one of their. And then what? Big Red Machine was happening, so yeah.
75. Yep.
Yeah, he kind of hit two juggernauts coming out of the National League.
It's like a butter knife hitting a brick wall.
So in the 67 World Series against the Cardinals, Yaz hit 400 with 3 home runs. And yeah, I mean that's a hell of a series.
You really can't ask for much more.
No, I mean yeah. I mean you're talking about a guy that had a 1300 OPS.
I mean, he's hitting for average and he's hitting them out the park.
Yeah, his on base percentage was 500, so that means every other time he came up, he got on.
Yeah.
And he hit 3 home runs, 2 doubles, and they lost. Anyway, anybody else have anything to add on Yaz before we move on?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, we already mentioned that a bunch of us have Big Papi. I think everybody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is David Ortiz for those that aren't initiated. But
Old David Ortiz.
Big Papi was another guy that I thought would be on everybody's list. He's a Hall of Famer, 10-time All-Star, 3-time World Series champ, 7-time Silver Slugger, World Series MVP, and an ALCS MVP. He has over 500 home runs, a .286 batting average, 2,400 hits, 1,400 runs, 1,700 RBIs, a whopping 17 stolen bases, a .931 career OPS. He did come in with Minnesota, but then played the last 14 years of his career in Boston, where he led the league in doubles once, and home runs once, and RBIs 3 times, and walks twice, and on-base percentage once. Papi also was on the team that broke the curse, and then went on to win 2 more World Series after that, which is probably the biggest reason Poppy is deserving to be on this list is he won 3 World Series with the Red Sox, with a team that a lot of people thought may never win a World Series again.
Yeah. He was on. He was an important part. I especially remember that 2013 one. That not just in the World Series, but that run.
Well, he pretty much won the World Series by himself that year. Like, the whole team just didn't fucking show up, and Big Poppy was like, hey, guys, watch this.
They would do enough to get on base, and then he would just walk up to the plate and hit a home run.
It was a magical run.
I mean, every time he carried that, that's the year I really remember him carrying the Red Sox.
The year they broke the curse, so 2004, Poppy hit 41 home runs and drove in 139 runs while batting .301. So he was very good and the best player, if not the second best hitter on the 2004 curse-breaking team. So it wasn't like he was just a role player during that season or something.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Didn't this one get in some PED troubles, but was never convicted or whatever?
I don't know. He never got in trouble for PEDs. He was one of the names in the Mitchell report.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. He's never been proven.
Never
Never
tested
been proven.
positive or.
Yeah.
Just keeping the facts straight. Just the facts, sir. Just the facts.
Yeah, in the 2013 World Series, he batted .688.
Oh my god. That's pretty good.
Yeah. He had a 1900 OPS.
I told you, he freaking.
Wow.
That's crazy.
All right. And does anybody have more than one player left?
I do. I got 2.
I just got one.
Well, go ahead and say the one that nobody has.
Yes, do that.
Nomar Garcia Parra.
Nomar.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you.
Shortstop.
I love Nomar. Nomar has a special place in my heart. I had a Nomar Garcia Parra lunchbox.
Hell yeah. That's one of the ones I remember is Nomar. Rookie of the Year, 6-time All-Star, Silver Slugger, 2-time batting title, 229 home runs with a nice batting average of .313, 1747 hits, and 5586 at bat.
Well, this is how I explain Nomar to people. Somebody like Drew that doesn't really know Nomar. Mm-hmm. He came into the league. His rookie season, one Rookie of the Year, like Ray mentioned, where he hit .306 with 30 home runs, 98 RBIs, stole 22 bases. Had a really great year as a rookie. He comes in the next year because you're thinking, man, you really can't top that. So he does. He has .323 with 35 home runs, 122 RBIs, and you're like, holy shit, this guy's going to be the best player in the league by year 3. And he gets better again because he wins the batting title by hitting .357. His 27 home runs as well with 104 RBIs. And when it comes to the 7th of the MVP voting. But then he follows it up the following season by winning another batting title and hitting .372.
Just wild.
At like the All-Star break, he was still batting over .400. He was having a killer season. And then he gets hurt. He breaks his wrist. Fastball to the wrist. Breaks his wrist. Screws up his next season. Everybody's terrified. And you're like, oh, is Nomar going to come back? So what's he do the next season? He has .310 with 24 home runs, 120 RBIs. And you're like, Nomar's back, baby. He comes back the following season. He has .301, 28 home runs, 105 RBIs. And that's it. Gets hurt again. Can't ever come back. Injuries just ruined his career.
And they shipped his ass out of town to Chicago.
That they did. I was so mad that day, and it turned out to be really great for us. But I was so mad the day we traded him. So mad. I just loved him. I so much. And the year we traded him, we won the World Series. We traded him mid-season, and we won the World Series.
So Alex shed a tear of sadness and happiness all in the same year.
Oh, that was a crazy year. That was a crazy year.
But it must have been magical.
I remember being on my knees in my mom's living room, just screaming, and I'm the only one in the house awake, and my mom is so mad. And she comes out of her bedroom, but the Red Sox were coming back and beating the Yankees.
Yeah, you probably weren't happy when they were down 3-0.
Oh, I was miserable.
You're like, there's no way.
Not again. Not again.
Not to the Yankees. He's like, come on.
Right? But you got to think about this. The year before, we went to Game 7 with the Yankees. And that's the year that Aaron Boone hit the walk-off grand slam off Tim Wakefield in Game 7.
Oh, yeah.
So we gave him a walk-off grand slam in Game 7 to lose in 2003. And, we thought the 2003 team was, it. We thought, if we can't win with the 2003 team, we're finished.
Yeah.
And then we came back in 2004, and they won the first 3 games. So, Red Sox Nation was just down in the dumps, miserable. Everybody was like, I'm not even going to watch Game 4. It was bad. And I just take credit for it, really, because, it happened on my birthday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Alex's birthday present.
That's right. But no, I don't think that was a bad pick at all with Nomar, Ray.
Well, thank you.
Nomar will always have a special place at Red Sox Nation. And he married Mia Hamm. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
He's doing all right.
Yeah,
He got
yeah.
to play baseball for 15 years. Got a good wife.
Yep. All right, and everybody has one left now, right?
Yep.
And since he hasn't been mentioned, everybody should know that it is Ted Williams,
Yep.
Yes, sir.
the greatest hitter who ever lived. He's a Hall of Famer, 2-time MVP, probably should have about 5 of them. He won the Triple Crown twice. He's a 19-time All-Star, 6-time batting title, 5-time Major League Player of the Year. He has over 500 home runs with a career batting average of .344. I know what you're thinking. Why doesn't Ted have 3,000 hits? I think the answer is pretty simple. War.
Yep.
If he did go to war, he would probably have his 3,000 hits.
It's 3 whole seasons.
Well, he missed 3 whole seasons for that, but then he also missed part of 2 others for the Korean War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
How many is he away from 3,000? 500?
300 something.
Oh, it's only, yeah. 2 seasons he's got it.
Yeah.
Especially those 2 first ones for...
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about his years 24, 25, and 26.
I mean, yeah, he's got what?
Yeah.
1. Yeah, I mean, the year right before he leaves, he's got 186. So, I mean, he'd have 3,000. I mean, there'd be no doubt about it. and again, this is... I mean, it's an excuse, but I mean, it's a very good excuse. I mean, he went to war for our country.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
I mean, you can't hold that against the guy.
And not to, I guess, shame the guys that actually just, were drafted and then told to go, make posters and stuff. Ted Williams was a fighter pilot and flew flew jets and was shooting down. It was shot down once.
Yeah, he was actually
Like,
in
he was actually in the war. He wasn't just like posing for pictures and sitting behind a desk and like things like that.
Yeah, nothing like Bob Hope.
He led the league in runs 6 times. He led the league in doubles twice. He led the league in home runs 4 times. RBIs 4 times. He led the league in walks 8 times. He led the league in batted average 6 times. On base percentage 13 times. He's the all-time leader in on base percentage. Yes, higher than Barry Bonds, for those of you that are wondering. His career on-base percentage is .482. So that means for his career, he almost got on base 50% of the time. That's astronomical. That's insane.
Yes, this skinny white guy got on base more than Barry Bonds, whose head grew 2 hat sizes. Yes.
One had juice and one did not.
One had heart.
Exactly.
He led the league in slugging percentage 9 times and OPS 10 times. So, yeah. I mean, that's pretty crazy that he led the league in those categories that many times. Like I said earlier, he won the Triple Crown twice. The first time was in 1942, where he batted .356 with 36 home runs and 137 RBIs. He did not win the MVP. The second time was 1947, where he hit .343 with 32 home runs and 114 RBIs. He did not win the MVP. Both times he lost the MVP to a Yankee. One of which was because of the 56-game hit streak, which Ted Williams had a higher batting average during the 56-game hit streak than the guy that had the 56-game hit streak.
Just got to get one hit to extend the streak.
Yep. And the other one was to a little-known Yankees second baseman named Joe Gordon.
Can't say I know him very much from Yankees lore.
Yes, because it was bullshit. Let's go over Joe Gordon's stats from this year.
Oh shit.
Oh, God.
He hit .322, so pretty good. Only 34 points lower than Ted. He hit 18 home runs. Not bad. Exactly half of Ted. And he had 103 RBIs. Good, nice season. Only 34 less than Ted. His on-base percentage was .409. 90 points lower than Ted.
So what you're saying is here they gave it to another Yankee instead of Ted.
Exactly what I'm saying, Drew. I'm glad you picked up on that.
I mean, some of the other Yankees during the time period, okay. Yeah, I bet there's better teams on the Yankees than old Joe.
One of them petty votes.
I mean, the DiMaggio vote is closer. I mean, when DiMaggio's 56-game hit streak, he batted .315 that year, with Ted Williams batted .343, so almost 30 points, 28 points difference. And DiMaggio hit 20 home runs to Ted's 32. DiMaggio had 97 RBIs to Ted's 114. DiMaggio's on-base percentage was 108 points lower.
108. That's just wild. You don't see a whole. Excuse me. You don't see that a whole 100 points.
Ted Williams led the entire league in runs, home runs, RBIs, walks, batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and OPS all that season, and lost the MVP.
I mean, you don't see that nowadays. If someone wants to do that nowadays, the MLB would be crucified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine? Let's just say, for example, Aaron Judge did that. I mean, I know it's a Yankee, but I'm just saying. I'm just trying to think of a big hitter. Say he led the league and all that stuff, and he didn't win. What would everyone say? I mean, it would be an uproar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy.
But back in the day, they just had newspapers. They didn't have 20,000 fucking social media sites
That's also
to
true.
broadcast that.
I mean, really, what it boiled down to was, I mean, first off, the Yankees are the Yankees, so you get that. But
Yeah.
at this point in time, just like similar to today, the MVP was voted on by the media. And Ted Williams hated the media, and Ted Williams was a huge asshole to the media.
Oh, yeah, well, that's...
So a lot of guys wouldn't vote for him.
Sounds like Rick Barry.
There you go. Yeah.
He's
good
got a little bit
comparison.
better stats than Rick Barry, but I mean, just like to the media and stuff, it sounds like the exact same. He didn't really care.
Yep. So yeah, old Teddy ball game.
Teddy ball game. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 fellas appear on the list.
We got 2 in. Ortiz and Williams are in.
All right. Well, Ray, are you the one without Yaz?
Yeah.
What do we got to do to get you on Yaz?
Well, let's see here. Let me think. I will take.
Do you have Pedro?
See, that's what
No,
I'm
that's
also
me and
thinking.
Drew.
I'm also thinking that.
Me
way,
and Drew
too.
have Pedro.
So, that's what I could do for everybody. Take my fist vote, put it on Pedro. I'll take Nomar's vote, put it on Yaz.
All right.
I think that cleans up the board, right?
Yep.
Almost. Yeah.
Well, and then I'll take my Boggs vote and put it on Pedro because Pedro was my number 5. And
That's
I
Quattro.
thought long and hard about those 2, but yep, I'm good with that.
All right.
All right. Well, that means we have our 4. So for the listeners now that can't see the board that we're all looking at, I will tell you who our 4 are. And that would be Pedro Martinez, Carl Yastrzemski, David Ortiz, and Ted Williams. I just want to let everybody know that is my 4.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was also Drew's. But
Okay.
Now, Alex, can you say that name 3 times fast?
Yastrzemski.
Good job. Very well done.
Yes.
No, I always think of. Y'all ever watched the movie Fever Pitch?
I think I've seen it with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon's
I
the
think
main
I've
character.
seen
He's like
that
a
one.
crazed Red Sox fan during the 04 season.
Right.
And they're like, and at the end of it, his girlfriend gets pregnant. And they're like, what are you going to name the baby? Well, if it's a boy, it's going to be, I can't remember what it is, but it's like Ted Williams or whatever. His last name was like, Jones or whatever. Ted Williams Jones. What if it's a girl? Oh, it's going to be Carla Yastrzemski Jones.
Oh, that's funny.
No, I like that movie probably too much. I know a lot of Red Sox fans don't like it, but I used to watch it on opening day every year. I haven't done that for a few years. Well, anyway, that will wrap up our Red Sox portion of this episode and lead us into what if. And I think the only what if worth talking about here is what if the Red Sox didn't trade Babe Ruth?
Oh my. Wow.
So, in case people are listening don't know, the Red Sox had Babe Ruth, and they traded him to the New York Yankees because the owner of the Red Sox spent all of his money on a play called No No Nanette. I even know the name of the fucking play. And was broke and had to do something drastic to make money. And so he sold Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees for $100,000. And before that, Babe Ruth and the Red Sox were royalty. They had won, I think, 3 World Series in like 4 years. They were the best team in baseball. And then they sold them. And the Red Sox went 86 years without winning a World Series, called the Curse of the Bambino. And the Yankees won 27 fucking World Series.
Well, the first obvious one is Babe Ruth wouldn't be on the Yankees list. He would be on the Red Sox list.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, other than that, I mean, maybe Red Sox would have 27 World Series at this point. But I mean,
What else did the Red Sox have after Ruth was gone? That's what I was wondering because, I mean, the Yankees had murderers. I mean, it was.
I mean, the Yankees were just stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Babe's last year in Boston, the starters were Wally Shang, Stuffy McGinnis, Red Shannon, Everett Scott, Ozzie Vitt, Harry Hooper, Babe Ruth, and Brago Roth. Know any of those guys?
hell no.
No.
Yeah.
So when some more notable names start appearing on this Boston roster?
Probably not till Ted, really.
How long is that away?
Like 20 years.
20 years.
20 years?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know.
I mean, you're still having to deal with the Yankees without Babe Ruth, but you're still looking at a lot of Hall of Famers playing for the Yankees. I mean,
yeah,
Babe Ruth not being there doesn't make Lou Gehrig go away.
right. So maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's not as. I don't know. As impactful, maybe is the word that we're looking at the Red Sox. Maybe.
Well, I guess we're forgetting something here. Jimmy Fox played for the Sox. What years was Fox there? And so did Tris Speaker, actually.
Right. I think Fox was a little after Ruth. Later. But I don't know about Speaker.
Well, Jimmy Fox came into the league at 25, so right in the middle of Ruth's heyday.
Right.
But he didn't go to Boston until 36.
Okay.
And in 36,
Ruth was
retired.
Yeah, he was out.
So let's try a Tris Speaker here. Now, I will say this. I did just say that in 3 times in 4 years, the Red Sox won the World Series with Babe Ruth. So some of the other players on his team were good.
Yeah.
I just don't know who the hell they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tris Speaker came in the league in 1907 with the Red Sox and played with the Red Sox until 1915. So he actually won 2 World Series with Babe Ruth.
Okay, so Ruth was there right at the end of his career.
Yeah.
So they were there together. Because I'm just looking at like Babe's numbers and his home runs. 0, 4, 3, 2, 11, 29 was his last year in Boston. And then his first year in New York was 54.
Yeah. Well, they moved him full-time to the outfield. He didn't pitch anymore.
Right.
Okay. And how, I don't know, this is probably a stupid question, but what was the different field dimensions between the 2 stadiums?
Well, that is
The short porch.
the short porch in Yankee Stadium. That is a good question because, I mean, Yankee Stadium has the short porch. And that may have helped his career.
Because is a green monster always been at Fenway, or
Yeah.
ever
Put it there because there wasn't enough room to put a regular outfield wall. So they're like, well, if we have to put it this close, we're going to make it tall.
Yeah, make it really tall.
So did he? So where's the short porch located at in Yankee Stadium?
Right field.
Right field.
And Babe hit left-handed, so he would have been hitting into right field.
He'd been hitting to right field. So that played right into his strength.
Okay.
So really, I mean, Yankee Stadium was the perfect place for him to play.
Yeah.
And then with DiMaggio and all them batting around him, it gave him all kinds of protection. I mean, with the team they had, you didn't want to face any of them.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, in Babe's MVP season, well, there really wasn't anybody hitting around him in his MVP season, so never mind, I guess. I went back a few more years here. Damn, when the hell did Gehrig come in?
Yeah. What year was his MVP season?
Hold on, I have to go back to it.
So do you think Boston would have gave up on his pitching too? Do you think they would just?
His MVP season is 23.
Okay.
Yeah, I think eventually he was going to be done pitching no matter where he played because he had become such a lethal hitter.
So so it almost would play out different or similar if he would have stayed or went. The difference is maybe supporting cast and the dimensions of the field kind of helped him through.
I mean, he definitely had a better. I'd say he had a better supporting cast in New York, and yeah, he had the short porch, which was nice. But I mean, we're talking about a guy that was hitting more home runs in a season than the entire other teams.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't like he was like just a little bit better than guys, until late in his career when Fox and Gehrig and guys like that came in the league and were also hitting a bunch of home runs. But there were years there where like he would hit more home runs than entire teams combined.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was crazy. I mean, he led the league in home runs 12 times. The first time he led the league in home runs was his second to last year in Boston when he hit 11.
Okay.
It was 11, 29, 54, 59, 35, 41, 46, 25, 47, 60, 54, 46, 49, 46, 41.
Yep, started getting that rhythm.
Yeah.
Bang, bang.
Well, I mean, really, he just started playing games. The first time he played over 100 games in a season, he hit 29 home runs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Babe's numbers are stupid. I mean, he's the all-time leader in slugging percentage and OPS. When he retired, he was the all-time leader in pretty much everything.
So did the Yankees just start winning the World Series right away when he hit there, or what did it take a couple years?
He got there in 20, and they won World Series didn't win their first World Series till 23.
Okay, so it took a minute.
It did.
Okay.
So they didn't put a team around him right away either. Yeah, because his first year in New York, they didn't even make the playoffs.
maybe he would have been better off in Boston. Because
He may have been better off in Boston immediately, like
Yeah.
that first few years. But I think once you start adding guys like Gehrig to the team, then it's hard to argue that he would have been better off on another team.
yeah, that's true. But those would have been nice battles. Babe Ruth on Boston. Knuckling up against those Murderer Road guys.
That's true. That's very true.
Those would have been epic games.
There definitely wouldn't be a Curse of the Bambino.
No,
That's right.
But, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting question to think about. Maybe it's more interesting for me because I'm a Red Sox fan and I, at least lived through part of it. But it's actually kind of hard to think about Red Sox without the curse. And breaking the curse was such a huge portion of my sports fandom in my life. Younger people like Drew's age or something, probably think of, the Cubs breaking their long streak of no World Series.
Yeah.
And it was like that.
So on the MLB sports games, have you ever tried to do they even have older teams on there you can run crazy simulations with?
I don't think they do have older teams on there because I do play the show. I don't think there's any older teams on there.
That would be nice to compare. Just leave old Babe on Boston and see how he rolls.
Yeah.
Man, that's weird. They don't have older teams. Everybody else does.
Yeah, Madden and 2K both do it.
Yeah.
If they do, I've never played it.
Right.
So I'm not saying they don't, but I've never played that version if they do. Or whatever part of that game you have to go into to get the older teams.
Right, yeah.
All right, well, I guess that wasn't as... I'm doing terrible picking what ifs. Somebody else is going to pick next week.
No, I think that was
good. This is interesting. We're not fans of Boston or the Yankees, so we're just kind of trying to connect the dots and, trying to figure things out. We're not real excitable about either team.
It's so long ago that we don't know the players well enough
That's true.
to know how strong each team was. Without Babe. Now, I do think Babe personally, I would almost bet he's going to have fewer home runs because he doesn't have the porch.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Y'all want to hear something else very interesting? So, I can't remember what year it was, but one year, Jimmy Fox hit 58 home runs. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This was after Babe hit 60.
Right.
And 60 was the record. Well, Jimmy Fox had 58 home runs going into the last two series of the year. Cleveland and St. Louis. Okay? Both teams extended their left field fences. Put another fence on top of it and made it 6 feet higher to try and stop Jimmy Fox from breaking the home run record.
Wow.
During those two series, he hit 4 balls into the extended fence.
Why would Cleveland and St. Louis care about a Yankee record?
I don't know, I read that in one of my baseball books that I don't know if it was necessarily Cleveland and St. Louis, or if it was Major League Baseball told them, hey, you need to do this, or whatever it was. But for whatever reason, they really wanted Babe to be the home run leader.
Wow, that's interesting.
So that could be a what if is what if Jimmy Fox was actually the home run champ and not Babe?
Not Babe.
Or Roger Maris.
Roger Maris wouldn't have made it then either.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fox would have had it until McGuire and Sosa and Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't know. That's interesting. I wonder. I'd like to know the story behind that. Why? Of course, they did some weird things back in the day in baseball. I mean, they
probably made a couple bets.
I think I brought it up in another episode. The owner of the Oakland Athletics, I should know his name because he's really famous for doing weird things.
Is that Charlie Finley?
Yep, Charlie Finley. Thank you.
Yeah.
He got really pissed off when the Yankees started hitting a bunch of home runs because of the short porch.
Right.
So what he did is he had them build in his stadium this little like easy thrown up fence and put like lawn chairs inside it and said, "This is our new
right field."
Right field, and it was the exact same dimensions as Yankee Stadium.
Right.
And Major League Baseball came in and said, "You can't do this." And he said, "Why? I get to sell more tickets and make more money, and I'm not cheating anything." And the commissioner made him put his fence back. So for the next 2 seasons, Finley, well, first off, he made them draw a white line where the Yankees fence should be in his outfield.
Right.
Draw a white line across the outfield there. And then anytime a ball went past there, he required his announcer to say, "And that would be a home run in Yankee Stadium."
Wow. Well, I mean, that is one thing about baseball home run records is the parks are so different.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the old parks were huge.
Huge, like 600-foot fences.
Right. I mean, or just like no fence.
Or no fence. You can't hit a home run here unless you hit it inside the Parker.
Right, yeah.
Like the ball just rolls forever.
People just ran and got it.
Yeah.
And, then some of them like Yankee Stadium with the short porch. And it's just like,
Or the first year of the Colorado Rockies Stadium.
Oh, yeah, at altitude.
Well, that, and they had the home run fence. It was like, what, 2 something, or it was really short, wasn't it?
I already shut my laptop. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't remember how short it was.
But I just remember, at altitude, things were crazy.
But you remember when they first opened Safeco and Petco, they were both gigantic.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Why did you do this to your team?"
Right, yeah. Why is it so huge?
Yeah, because Adrian Beltre, he had that 50 home run season in his contract year playing for the Dodgers at the Coliseum. And then he signed that big contract and went up to Seattle to play at Petco.
Yeah.
Or is that Safeco?
I don't know.
Safeco was Seattle.
Yeah, Safeco.
Yeah.
And he never hit a bunch of home runs. And then he played up there for like 5 years. And, he was good, but he never hit a bunch of home runs. And then as soon as he left Seattle, his home run numbers went back up. And it was like, because he plays in a stadium where the fences are so far back.
Yeah.
Like, he was never going to hit 50 or 60 home runs there.
Yeah, so those ballpark dimensions make a huge difference.
Yeah.
And you remember when Houston first opened their new stadium, and it had the incline in the outfield with the pole?
Yep.
I was just waiting for somebody to get hurt. It's just like, why would you do that?
Yeah, whoever designed that was an idiot.
So the Rockies field at left field is 347 feet, and then right field is 350.
Wow.
And I thought it was shorter than that when it first started, but that's what it is right now.
Because isn't the porch at Yankee like 318, 320?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
I think it's pretty short.
Damn Damn it, my phone is being a piece of poop.
Internet connect.
Yankees right field is 314. Yeah.
314. Okay. Yeah. Because I think down the line at Bush is 330, 335, something like that. And new Bush isn't as big as old Bush. Back in the Whitey ball days when the AstroTurf and the Cardinals were built for defense and no home runs, I think center field was like 412 maybe. And now it's like 400. When they built the new ballpark, they brought center field in. And different, I mean, those Cardinals back in the early 80s, they were built for that ballpark.
Well, the Red Sox right field is really goofy because the foul pole is only 302 feet from home plate. Okay? Mm-hmm. But the fence is not 302 feet from home plate.
Oh, okay.
The fence continues to go. Like, the fence ends up being like 340 or something like that.
Yeah.
But the trick is, if you're a lefty and you can hook it around the pole, it's a home run.
Right.
So you can hit like a 305-foot home run.
If you can hook it around the pole.
But you have to hook it around the pole to make it go into foul territory after it goes past the pole.
Right.
Because if you hit a 305 inside the pole, somebody catches it.
Right, yeah.
So it's actually a really weird setup because it's just because the pole is set too far into the field, like too far up the line. If they would just set it back at the fence, it wouldn't be that way.
It wouldn't matter.
But that's that's Pesky's pole because he wrapped one around it to win a playoff game one year. He wrapped like a 310-foot home run around the pole. Yeah. So it's been Pesky's pole since then.
Okay.
For Johnny Pesky.
So by hitting, what happens if you hit the pole? It's
a home run.
So really, you're just kind of aiming at the pole.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you're looking at a 6-inch in diameter pole that's sticking up in the air. That's kind of hard to hit.
Yeah, but if you're good, I mean, you're good.
Yeah, but ballparks do have a big impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much all we got on that one. So we appreciate you tuning in for this Boston Red Sox episode, and we would appreciate you tuning in next week for our Florida Marlins episode, one of the newer franchises again. Moving over to the NL East. And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.